So there's two things that I do consistently to get over 20% returns. Today, I want to dive into it and really help you potentially do the same. So I've been investing in the stock market since, I don't know, man, like 2017, 2018. And I really started out my investing journey not in the stock market, but in real estate. When I was building my business, I knew that at some point in time I had to really start using the money that I was earning from my business to eventually start making me more. I was like a lot of you guys, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and I just figured like real estate was the thing to do. It looked sexy. It was the thing that everybody was talking about. I was in a couple different mastermind groups and everybody was talking about real estate. I thought I was actually going to buy up not even single family homes, but I had mobile home parks on my mind, on my heart, and on my spirit. That's what I thought I was going to do. And so I started building a real estate portfolio. I even started a company called E&M Investment Partners, E standing for my son's name, Ezra, M standing for my daughter's name, Mila. And so that's what I basically thought that I was going to do. That's how I was going to build our wealth, was by building a real estate portfolio. And that's what I started doing. And I did that all the way up until I kind of took a little sabbatical in South America. And a buddy of mine hit me up and he said he needed to borrow some money to finish a real estate project. I eventually let him borrow some money and a hard money loan, and it was great. And because we did so well on that, I was like, man, I think lending is going to be the thing for me. And so I really started, my business was growing. I was spending a ton of time building the business. I really didn't want anything really hands on. And so I started lending and then I started investing into the stock market. So basically, since 2018, I'm looking at a couple of my accounts right here. Since 2018, I have over 20% returns here. I have over 30% returns here. In this account here, I'm looking at it. I have over 60% return. So, how am I doing this? Is the question. And so, I'm going to tell you the two different investing strategies that I use that you could potentially use for yourself. Now, I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not your CPA, and I'm not telling you to do this. I'm just sharing with you how I've been able to consistently get over 20% return. So there's two things that I do. And let me know what your strategy has been down in the comments. I would love to hear from you. But so there's something called dollar cost averaging, right? And so what this does is you take a percentage of your income, and every single month, what you do is you invest that percentage of income into the stock market. So, what's so cool about that is like in the last 100 years, they've measured people who spend time in the market instead of the people that try to time the market. And the people that spend time in the market, meaning every single month, they just consistently put in a small amount of money. What that does over time is over time they typically get, I don't know, 8% returns, 10% returns, 12% returns. And the way that it works is, let's just say you earn $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, and you want to take a small percentage of that income. Let's just call it 10%. So 10% of 5,000 is 500 bucks. So let's just say $500 every single month you're investing into the stock market, right? Into something, a low cost index fund that tracks the S&P 500, that allows you every single time you invest this $500, you're investing it into an ETF or a mutual fund that allows you to invest into the top 500 companies within the United States. I mean, the big boys. We're talking about Amazon, we're talking about Microsoft, we're talking about Nvidia, we're talking about Berkshire Hathaway, we're talking about Tesla, we're talking about Meta. We're talking about all of these super gigantic companies that every time you invest your 500 bucks is being invested into these 500 companies. That's dope. That means you own a small part of 500 of the largest companies in the world. And so sometimes what happens is the stock market goes up and the stock market goes down. But because you're investing every single month, sometimes you invest when it's high and sometimes you invest when it's really low. Now, what you need to know is when the stock market is low, then that means it's on sale. And what I talk about with my kids is I say, like we have Trader Joe's across the street from the house. And so I tell them, I say, hey, what's your favorite thing to get at Trader Joe's? And let's just say they say like an ice cream sandwich. And I say, well, how much is an ice cream sandwich? And they say, well, the ice cream sandwich is $5, Daddy. And I say, okay, so you love the ice cream sandwich. What would you do if the ice cream sandwich all of a sudden was only 50 cents? And they say, well, Daddy, I would buy more. And I would say, how much more would you buy? And they would say, I would try to buy as much as humanly possible. And I would say, why would you try to buy as much as humanly possible? Well, Daddy, because it's on sale. Well, that's what happens with these companies as well, is sometimes they actually go on sale. So if we just look back right now, we're in August of 2015, just a few months ago, in April of 2015, just like 4 months ago, the stock market actually took a huge dive. It was the biggest dip that I have seen since 2022. So in the last 3 years, the market has pretty much been moving up. And then what happens is President Trump at the end of March of 2025 sort of announced his plan to basically tax or tariff everybody and their mamas. So everybody was getting it. Mexico was getting it. Canada was getting it. China definitely was getting it. Everybody was getting it. Europe was getting it. And he was like, bro, I'm taxing everybody. And so what happens is all these people that are invested into the market, they're investing in Amazon, and now Amazon does business all around the world, and they got to get goods and services and products in and out of these different countries. And we know tariffs are going up. People get scared about that stuff and they say, well, damn, man, like this company that I'm invested in may not be doing as well because somebody's got to pay these high taxes. And because they get scared, they sell. And when a whole bunch of people sell off like that, the market dips. Well, because you've been doing dollar cost investing, when that market dips, and when everything goes on sale, right? Those ice cream sandwiches go on sale. Now you get to buy up more. Your $500 gets to buy up more of those companies because they're on sale. And so the market does this up and down all day long, every single year. It never stays stagnant. It's like our weight, right? Our weight is up, our weight is down. That's how the stock market goes. But because you're investing every single month, your 500 bucks, now and you've been staying in the market, then you're going to get probably an 8, 9, 10%, maybe a 12% return over time, which is not bad. That is extremely standard. If you can get 8%, 9%, 10%, most people say that's a pretty good return. So how the hell are my returns so high then? Because I do dollar cost investing. I take a portion of my income and I invest it every single month. And I've been doing that for years now. So if you think about there's 12 months in a year, and I've been doing this maybe for the last 10 years, I've been doing this for like 120 something months in a row where the market's gone up and the market has gone down. I've seen really big dips in the market in 2018, 2020, 2022, and now 2025, right? And I've just been consistently investing. Well, I get really big returns because I do something else. Well, what do? I do time the market. And so not only do I consistently dollar cost investing on automation, I don't even see this stuff. As soon as I get paid, this money is taken out and it's invested into the funds that I really love. Right. And it's just like that. I don't even know what's happening. It's just happening. Right. And so that tells you to put your investing on automation. And I also keep a pile of cash on the side and I let this cash build up because I'm waiting for the market to drop. because when it drops and when those ice cream sandwiches are on sale, I want to buy as much as humanly possible. So while I'm doing dollar cost investing, I'm also have some cash that I'm saving up and I'm waiting. And I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the real estate to drop. I'm waiting for the stock market to drop. I'm waiting for businesses to drop. I'm waiting for anything to drop. It could be a freaking laundromat. I am waiting. I'm waiting and I'm looking. I'm waiting and I'm looking. I'm waiting and I'm listening. I'm waiting and I'm on Yahoo Finance. I'm waiting for something crazy to happen. I'm waiting for a whole bunch of you guys to get scared and start selling off your very, very good assets because as soon as you start selling, I'm ready to buy. And so a good example is I knew that people were going to start selling their stocks a few months ago. In fact, I have a mastermind group and I started telling all of our students, I said, look, man, hey, I'm not telling you guys what to do, but pay attention to the announcement that Trump is about to have because what's going to happen is when he announces that he's going to tariff the bejesus out of all these people, then people usually, when they get afraid, they don't run to the thing that makes them afraid, they run away. And when that happens in the market, that means a massive sale opportunity is about to come. So I started telling my students, I was like, hey, you guys start positioning yourself. If you got cash in savings, if you got cash in high yield savings accounts, if you got cash in different areas, like start positioning that cash because it's going to be time to go in. And sure enough, at the end of March, he sort of or April, he starts talking about this tariff stuff. And then in May, and what did you see? You saw the stock market dip all the way down here. And what it did, I took this big pile of cash and I went all in. And when I say I went all in, and remember, your pile of cash may not look like my pile of cash, and my pile of cash may not look like somebody else's pile of cash. Your pile of cash could be $100. It could be $500. It could be $1,000. My pile of cash could be whatever it is. All I'm telling you is I'm giving you the game. I'm giving you the secret is not only do I do dollar cost investing, but how I get 20%, 50%, 60% returns is I keep this pile of cash. And when we have big dips, I invest and I invest it all. And I'm telling you, when I go in and I wait and I'll be waiting and I'm waiting for it to fall and I'm setting my parameters and I'm waiting. And when I feel like it's basically at the bottom, I go in, you guys, and I go in big. It's not a little bit, it's as much as I can, as I have, and it's as much that I can get. Shoot, I will borrow money from you so that I can go in even more. Like this is a sale, man. This is like a sale of the century. I waited 3 years from 2022 building up cash for the dip that we had this year in 2025. Why? Because when those damn things go on sale, man, I'm hungry for it. I gotta have it. I'm thirsty. I'm salivating. I can't wait. I've been waiting for you. It sounds weird to say you're waiting for a market correction, right? Like it feels like there should be something wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it. It's opportunity. And that is how rich people get rich. And that's how wealthy people get wealthy. Now, I grew up on welfare. I didn't understand that. I was born to a single mama who was on welfare. I graduated college, had a single mama, and I was still on welfare, right? So like I was still on Medicaid, I was still on government assistance. So listening to what I'm saying right now sound foreign. I didn't understand that. I would have felt some way about that if I heard some pompous person. I'm sitting here on welfare and I hear somebody talking about like they couldn't wait for the market to fall. Bro, I can't wait for the market to fall. Why? Because it's opportunity. And you're either going to see it as opportunity or you're going to see it as something else. And based off of the way that you see it is how you're going to respond to it. But now I see it as opportunity. So I prepare myself for opportunity. I consistently invest every month so that I'm in the market while I'm building over here, preparing for an opportunity. So those are the two ways and my two strategies on how I consistently get over 20% returns. I get 20%, I get 30%. I'm literally looking at an account right now to where over I've invested over $1 million in this account. I've invested $1,043,000 and I've gotten back nearly $700,000 in return. How? Because I wait. And when this thing dips, I go in. I hope that those two strategies have brought you value. I am not telling you to do it. I'm just sharing with you what has really worked for me and why people um sort of I think come to my channel is because I tell you I'm very transparent and I tell you exactly what it is and I tell you exactly what we're doing. Is this brought you value at all? Let me know. Post a comment in the in or post a comment in the comment section and let me know which of these two strategies you're going to use, or maybe you use both of them. I encourage you to find me over on Instagram at the real Jamel Frazier and go and subscribe to the channel, like it, share it with some friends, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a great night, everybody.